Are we finally going to see the Toronto real estate market crash? Inventory levels just hit a 30-year high, and we are experiencing arguably the slowest spring market in almost 30 years. Our year-to-date sales are down 20% compared to last year. And last year was a very slow year to begin with, so that tells you a lot. But since you're a consumer, all these other stats and these numbers don't really mean much to you because you really only care about one thing. And that is affordability and price. Now, despite all the doom and gloom that you see in the media, home prices are staying flat. And unfortunately for buyers, this market is not affordable in any shape or form. Now, the average price of a home in the Greater Toronto Area is $1.1 million. Now, that number hasn't really changed in the last few months, but compared to the same time last year, we are down about $50,000. But with that said, there are over 27,000 homes for sale in the Greater Toronto Area, and that's a number that we haven't seen or heard in decades. Now, with all these numbers, everybody wants to know, is this a good time finally to make a move? Or should we just sit back and wait because prices might come down more? Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dilyar Murat. I'm a real estate broker here in the Greater Toronto Area. I make educational real estate content. And if you're watching this and you want to stay up to date with this unpredictable real estate market here in the GTA, I want you to give me a like and subscribe, and I'll make sure that you will not be disappointed. I will be uploading weekly, and with that said, let's get started. Look, there's no sugarcoating it. There's a lot happening in our economy and in our country right now. We have just had a federal election and the Liberal government was elected once again. So regardless of your political beliefs, for the next 4 years, it doesn't matter because it's all done. The tariffs and trade war with the US is still in effect. And Canadian unemployment rate is going up. Bank of Canada has cut interest rates multiple times in the recent months, but at the same time, inflation numbers are ticking up slowly and our dollar is getting weaker. So Bank of Canada is in a really tough spot right now in terms of making a call as to whether they should cut interest rates or hold it still. Now, with this information and everything that's been happening in the economy in this country, it's very hard to predict what could happen in the near future. And that is creating an uncertainty, and uncertainty is what's causing buyers to freeze. Frozen buyers means very slow activity in real estate, and that's why we're seeing inventory piling up while sales are slowing down. Now, when you look at this chart, you're looking at 27,000 active listings. Out of the 27,000 active listings, almost 10,000 of them are condo apartments. So this means 40% of the homes that are up for sale right now are condo apartments. So if you're someone who's looking to sell your condo or in the process of selling your condo, you have to remember that you are in an ultra competitive condo market. Now, speaking of condos are very much in a buyer's market, meaning there are just so many to choose from, but very few buyers. But with that said, the average price of a condo has been flat for the last few months. So let's see where this goes. Now, I've said this many times in this channel. The stats that you see here is the average of everything here in the Greater Toronto Area, right? So we're looking at every single asset class from condos to townhouses to detaches in all the pockets of Toronto and in the suburbs. So we're looking at Durham region, York region, Peel, Halton, and the city of Toronto. So these numbers and data points here doesn't necessarily mean that it's applicable to your specific property. And if you want a tailored advice for your property, then you can do so by booking a meeting through the link in my bio, and we can have a discovery call and work through the numbers. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to focus on the Durham region and I'm going to break down the numbers for you further. I'm looking at specifically freehold properties only here in the Durham region, so let's look at the numbers together. So looking at freehold properties here in the Durham region, we are excluding anything that's condo or a condo townhouse. The reason being is condos here in the Durham region have a big variance. You might have a 3-bedroom condo that sells for $850,000, or you might have a 1-bedroom condo that sells for $350,000. So the variance is too big, so we exclude them to look at solely on the freehold property. So if you look at Pickering here over 3 months span, right? In February, average price or median price of a home was $1,050,000. Then it went down to $1,032,000, and at the end of April, it was $1,030,000. So there's not a big drop per se. It's been fairly consistent. Now, if you look at Ajax, median price of a freehold property in February was almost $950,000. Compared to now, it's looking at $897,000. So we did see a $50,000 drop in Ajax in median prices. Now Whitby, very similar, 980 in February, 990 in March, end of April, it was 910,000. Now Oshawa, 790,000 in February, March was 775, April was 798. So I would say Oshawa is staying pretty flat right now. And Clarington was 846,000 in February, 830,000 in March, and April was 835,000. So I would say Clarington is also pretty flat. So months of inventory here, Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa, and Clarington. Ajax actually has the lowest months of inventory, although Ajax did see a drop from February to April, but Pickering has the highest. And typically the months of inventory is an indication of how much inventory is there in a specific market versus how much demand. So lower this number means it's more favorable for sellers. So on paper, Ajax is in a seller's market, and Pickering, Whitby, Oshawa, and Clarington are what we call a more of an imbalanced market. So to summarize, is this a bad market? Well, yes. If you're trying to sell a condo, it's terrible. If you're a builder selling new projects, it's terrible. If you're an investor who bought pre-construction and now you're trying to offload it through assignment, it's terrible. But if you have freehold properties, especially under $1 million here in the Durham region, it's not as bad as what the media makes it out to be. Now, personally speaking, I'm working with a number of buyers right now, and all my buyers are facing similar issues, right? They're having a hard time finding quality products. Quality products are homes that have been taken care of, homes that have upgrades or turnkey, homes in great neighborhoods, in good school districts. These homes are hard to come by, and when they do, they are getting multiple offers. So yes, those homes are still in demand, and yes, real estate sales are still happening, but market overall is slow. Now, I hope you find this helpful, and I want to know what you think of the real estate market. Leave your thoughts in the comment below, and with that said, see you next time.